Click Stuff is brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama. Check them out at luckydicecafe.com.
Welcome to Click Stuff.
Hey everybody, welcome to Click Stuff today. This is your host, Daniel Powell speaking. We got a great show planned for today, but first off, we'd like to thank Lucky Dice Cafe and trollandtoad.com for sponsoring the show. trollandtoad.com is one of the largest HeroClix singles providers on the internet. Check them out, especially with Rebirth launching in April 10th. So trollandtoad.com, check them out for all of your HeroClix singles needs. And also, we are running our Patreon drive for this month. Our class for next month, for anyone signed up at $5 and above, is going to be Barriers, How to Build and Build Around, Tactics and Strategy. And if we can reach the $130 level, we have additional map, Casey Orion, and Arrow Pack to throw into our monthly giveaway. Regardless of what level we reach, we will have a Death's Head, Hussar, and War Machine into the giveaway pile. So looking forward to taking care of everybody on that front. Joining me today, I guess I should say check us out at patreon.com/clickstuff. And joining me today is none other than Jason Alvey.
What's up?
And a big surprise, who's been abandoning us the past 6 months or so, is David Gosselman.
I am also here.
We're glad to have you back, Dave. At least for today.
Feels like the band's back together again.
And then on top of that, we also have our special guest, the man, the myth, the Chicagoan legend, who takes cuts, gives cuts.
A lot of cutting going on, yeah.
The man, Nate White. How's it going, Nate?
Going great. Thank you for inviting me to speak.
Yeah, we're glad to have you on. So today's agenda, we're going to start out first with a Daniel's Errata and clarification section. And then we're going to talk about states prep for ROC States here coming up in about a week and a half. We're going to talk a little bit about Rebirth, and then we want to talk about the X-Men, the animated series set previews. I guess more of the set overview that was released about a few days ago. And then we'll have a Nate interview thrown in the middle there and listener questions. So quite the packed episode today. So let's start out with Daniel's erratas and clarifications. So Tyler kind of brought this one up as sometimes I forget what I say and I change my mind about what I say. So I just want to clarify my thoughts on a few things as of March 27th, 2019. First one, and you guys can just chime in. I'll say each one. You guys can tell me whether or not you think I'm dumb or not.
You're dumb.
Okay.
Oh, wait, we got to wait for it. Okay, my bad.
That's right. Super Rare Iron Man is great on his map, but I still don't like him on not his map. Doesn't quite do it for me when he's not on his map.
I think he's pretty good on any map.
Why is that?
I don't know. I like the dial design. I mean, if you're paying for the map bonus, he's still going to get you the buddy. He's pretty badass when he hits that stop click, and he's pretty useful until he hits that stop click. So I don't see why he would be bad on another map. I think
I just don't think he's bad. It's just I just don't like it when he loses map.
You just think he's more effective whenever he can win and go to his own map.
Yeah, because that making the pogs for free across the map is just woo.
No,
If limited were still a thing, he would be awesome at that.
Except map bonuses weren't allowed in limited.
Right, but I mean, they can tweak it.
If limited were a thing and it were different than it was, it would be awesome.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but limited is gone. So in that note, I got to play against, so this is more of a statement, Dustin McKinley and Brandon Collette are two awesome guys. Had the pleasure of playing those guys and the pleasure of losing to those guys last week. And they're just two awesome guys that probably a lot of folks don't know about. Dustin is in northern Indiana/Michigan via Evansville, via Colorado. Evansville, where we're based out of, in Indiana. Nothing. You got to play Dustin, didn't you, Nate?
I just played him last night in a practice game. Yeah. He played the Iron Man on the Iron Man map, and it was brutal.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm. He's a great player. I mean, he's got a real good handle.
Yeah. It's just solid positioning, solid play. I like that. I like that.
He was playing a really interesting team on Saturday, wasn't he?
Yeah, he played the Iron Man team. He didn't have the old man cap.
Oh, okay.
So he played the Stasis Spider-Man.
Right, that's right.
Yeah. Which, it did the trick. It got the perplex. It has an outwit, and, it has the leadership, so it's perfect. And it's only 70 points, so, he basically really missed out on just having two giant girls on his team.
Makes sense.
So, statement, this is, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is statement number 3 of 5. Unseen still doesn't do it for me. It's just, Unseen's not as good as Lockjaw or Trelane. They perform different things, but I just don't know how folks are not getting their Unseens one-shotted continually with Pulse Wave available as it is. But I could be wrong, so... I
don't think you're crazy for that statement.
Yeah.
He's kind of expensive for not being an attacker.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'll take Lockjaw over him any day. I can see he has his uses, and I guess you can't argue because he's been in cuts. He's been in results, and it's out there. But I don't know. I agree as far as he's just not my thing. I think I'd pick Lockjaw 10 times out of 10 on a build that he's pretty common on.
Yeah.
I have a couple builds where Unseen is essential, but I think he's great for if the retaliation and protection alone ruins my day for about half of my team. So I hate to see him across from me, and that super senses is always nice. Even with precision strike, he's still getting a regular super senses roll against you, and the range is so long that if somebody's letting you get a single target pulse wave off on them with a call in, then they are not playing Unseen properly, and that's just going to happen. So,
everything dies to Pulse Wave. I really don't think that's a reason to hate him.
Not everything. Black Panther does not die to Pulse Wave.
Oh, whatever. You know what I mean.
That's true. You know how disheartening that is when you got one answer to Black Panther's rollouts, and then you realize you don't even have that answer. It's horrible.
Yeah, I agree. No, I know what you're saying. It's just, I don't know.
I think Unseen's a great call-in battery. The built-in perplex, the outwit, the see-through people, the see-through stealth, the see-through elevation.
They do different things.
You can keep him safe. They do different things. Lockjaw, I don't think Unseen is as good as Lockjaw. But is that the question? Is it one or the other between those two?
To me, in that
point slot for the cosmic teams and stuff.
Yeah.
For me, Unseen's just not an aggressive enough piece.
Yeah, by the way, and what do you mean that Unseen has a built-in perplex?
Built-in prob. I don't think. Did I say?
You said perplex, yeah. At least that's what I'd heard.
I misspoke.
Yeah, I was about to say, what Unseen do you have that has perplex?
No, perplex. I mean, prob and outwit. Yeah, there you go. I said it. Yeah. Don't worry. I'll say stuff like that.
No, that's fine. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think that is the one thing if he was missing. If he had outwit, prob, and perplex, like, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a lot of things that don't make that. It needs one more thing to make me happy. So, but I'm hard to please, I guess, sometimes as well.
All the time.
Yeah.
It just depends on your playstyle. If you can sit back and be a little more passive, then he's great for you.
It's a huge factor. And yeah, if you're a hang way back and play super defensively, he's not bad at all. If you want to get in there and scrap, he's not good.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He's not a scrapper.
Yeah. And then so the last one is something Tyler. I went back and actually thought about this one. So I want to be clear. Hawkeye himself is okay. The spear is not okay. The spear is the brokenness.
Yeah.
So Hawkeye, I mean, at least in like the situation pre-spear, your opponent had to let you be able to drop a tank on them to get rid of X-Men. But the spear being able to just take out 50-point Wolverines, not cool. So it's pre-errata tank, and being able to deal your attack damage, whatever that is, right? That could be Pulse Wave, it could be Psyblast, Precision Strike, all these different things, and then do an after effect of penetrating damage is not cool. That's the problem. So, and that leads me to my last point. I guess I did miss one there. I do miss having X-Men in the competitive scene as a balancing force. I think we're seeing new problems come out because X-Men is not playable because of Hawkeye.
Well, I wouldn't even put it on the spear because Hawkeye was a pain in the butt before the spear. I think your ultimate problem is still the fact that you can throw a bunch of 10-point giant girls on there and beat everybody in theme. Because what made X-Men so great is they were always going to get map.
No, I don't think that's still not the problem. Is that even if you have X-Men, Hawkeye is not killing the entire team unless he has the spear to get past Wolverine's stop clicks.
It's true. I actually playing Jason with his 4 Wolverine team. Didn't I use my Hawkeye as bait?
Yeah, I was stupid and didn't kill the Miss Marvel. That was the real thing.
Yeah, the Miss Marvel was much more of a threat to him than the Hawkeye was.
We withstood Hawkeye and killed the Hawkeye, but then the Miss Marvel obliterated everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. My thing is just, if he didn't have such a high theme, it would lose map to like monster teams. They could take you, indoors. If it didn't have such a high theme, then X-Men
it is
would
a
still
perfect
be
storm.
Playable.
If it didn't have Star Fox and Old Man Cap, if it didn't have a leadership easily.
Well, I mean, if it didn't have 50 points worth of 5 characters, like if you had to pay 50 points for 2 or 3 characters, or even 1 character, like the X-Men teams do.
Oh,
you're automatically jumping up. I have 50 points, so I'm plus 5 already before I've even put any actual things on the build.
I mean, I love my giant girls.
I mean, I know everybody loves giant girls, but to me, that's always the big thing. You always get initiative. It's got a cross the map reach, and it gets to pick the map.
So here's my bonus errata and clarification. I do not agree with the banning of cargo plane and national air and the and the spirit ruling that says that those figures don't automatically die on first turn. Because there is now no downside to playing such a large theme, because your opponent has no advantage to winning map. Now, there's a lot of folks that disagree with me on that.
You're completely damn no advantage to winning map.
No. That's what I'm saying.
You can take the underground. There's all sorts of advantages to winning map that don't involve free damage to your opponent before the game even starts, and taking out all pogs on their team and taking everything off their first click. I'm sorry, I can't agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I know. I know a lot of folks don't agree with me.
I don't even like the extended starting areas don't give you walking woods ruling. So I definitely don't like the fact that the map is killing pieces.
The problem is here that this ruling, this bad, it's a bad coincidence. Nobody was like, oh, there's a map coming out with open air spaces. Let's make it so they deploy like this and it'll screw their robins. Nobody was thinking that. People were thinking, oh, these stupid theme teams with all their giants, let's mess them up. But you're not messing them up at all, because they're the ones with +10. They're going to win map. They're never going on national air. It's the weirdo theme. It's the weirdo colossal squads that people, the ones that don't have a theme, that get jammed in the ear by this ruling, which is what the dumbest thing of all about it to me. It's like, whatever you think it's doing to solve a problem, it's not solving that problem. It's solving there's too much diversity in the meta problem. Let's shrink it a little bit, like the X-Men problem, like the Spear. It's reducing what's available to players, the pool that's available for them to play, and making tournaments less fun. So.
Well, I mean, Hawkeye and Monsters already make tournaments less fun right now.
Oh yeah, Unimind too. You can add him to that list.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you could say there, but at least you have to play the game. Hawkeye can miss.
Right, exactly.
But the map doesn't even roll an attack. It's just like, okay, well, that's dead, and that's dead, and look, I'm up on points, and I never had to do anything other than win map roll and screw you.
Yeah.
Maps should never damage you.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I say if the map makes an attack.
The problem with my whole problem with the thing is that we got a quote unquote spirit ruling instead of explaining how it worked. And
I don't mind a spirit ruling. What's wrong with a spirit ruling?
You should fix the game mechanic that's wrong, not just calling it a spirit. And
what the fundamental game mechanics are all just spirit choices in the first place. I mean, we all agreed that you can't automatically break away from plasticity because it's in the rules. It's not. It's just like, I don't see a difference between a spirit ruling and adding a new mechanic to the game, to saying a new golden rule or a new silver rule or something like that to resolve an issue.
Right. Well,
also, I mean, we were completely for the spirit ruling of the endless combo team a couple years ago. So are we just now picking and choosing what spirit rulings we support and which ones we don't like?
The ones that make sense, we're okay.
Well, I mean, I think having an endless combo and never getting to act is a little worse than the map killing some of my pieces, but the map shouldn't kill my pieces. My opponent should have to do it.
Right.
That's just how I view it. Now, I understand what you're coming from. It kind of throws a wrench into the staple stuff that's out there right now, to where people got to think about that potentially being there, and it could have completely shifted the way, people were playing teams or what they were putting on the teams. And that would have been... It would be healthy for things to kind of jumble up a little bit, but I don't think the map killing pieces is one of the results that should be making it better.
I mean, the fundamental problem is with first turn immunity and how much stuff can get by first turn immunity.
Right, which it should be nothing.
It should be nothing, right? So, like,
yep.
And then, but you know what? Everybody was okay. Everybody was all up in arms about this map killing people. But nobody complained whenever Darwin deals unavoidable damage past first turn immunity. Everybody's okay with that.
No, that shouldn't happen either.
Because pick-a-power pieces are hateful things, and nobody cries for them.
Yeah, I mean, mini shredders and Hawkeyes are hateful things, and nobody should cry for them.
Didn't this come about because
I don't cry for them either. If you
Did the
want
starting area redo cause this?
The starting area change did bring this to light. That is.
And wasn't
correct.
that? Didn't that come about because of Tyler's team? So it isn't all Tyler's fault.
It is all Tyler's fault. That is correct.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing is there's all this talk about colossal swarms blowing out the game and changing the game, and really it was just one colossal swarm, and really only one guy knows how to play it right, apparently, because nobody else is playing it.
Right. So.
Well, I mean, it's like obviously his thing. Like we've tried. There's been talk on the team.
People take people's thing.
Right, but there's even been talk on the team like, well, maybe I'll just play Wales, but like, I don't know. It's just so Tyler's thing. I don't want to be a pale comparison.
He's put so much time and effort into it. No, but he's just the best at it. That's just all there is.
Right, he plays it exactly right. I mean, the guy, I don't know why he's not bored to death. I can't play the same team 2 tournaments in a row, so.
So I think that that leads us to a perfect segue into our ROC States prep. So I have seen in a couple WKOs where Wales have placed well. I know the puns all around. Where Wales have won and Wales have placed well, so I think folks are catching on to it. And I think my important advice there would be is if you're not prepped for Wales, Wales will beat you. Because they clog up the front line and then all the retails on the back line. And so if you don't practice the Wales matchup and someone is playing that, or you're at a state that Tyler Spees is going to, you have to be prepared for it. I mean, you have to be prepared with an 11-click mini shredder, or 8 if you don't do penetrating damage. 2 whales both with stop clicks, and then a Surtur in the back line. So, if you're not prepared for that sort of thing for states, you probably should be. So, tip number 1 for states. Other than that, be ready for Hawkeye. Be ready for Grandmaster if you're going to the same states as Nate.
Ooh, don't be ready for Grandmaster.
Nobody's ready for Grandmaster.
No, you can't get ready for Grandmaster. What's to get ready for? He sees you, you punch the guy that's next to you. You don't worry. It's not that hard to prevent.
Listen, there's a reason I've been playing Don't Die, and that's because I'm out of practice and have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
I can afford to make stupid mistakes whenever I play Don't Die. It's like, oh, well, at least I'm not dead. That was really dumb of me.
Yeah, you do at least do us the courtesy of playing it like a maniac and like attacking with Don't Die stuff. Once you're up on points, you still keep fighting for some reason, which is admirable. It gives the other person a chance.
Oh, I would never try to just screw somebody. I'm just going to, it's like, well, it's going to be hard for you to make up the points and come back, but they're out here. Come get them.
At States, Uni's going to be there, but what are you going to do to prep for Uni? You got to have a Cyclops on your sideline, and then that's about it. Just hope that he doesn't hit his rollouts. Black Panther. Yeah. How do you prep for Black Panther? You don't prep for Black Panther.
You just have a lot of attackers and hope he rolls like crap.
Yeah.
Have a Cyclops on your sideline.
Right. Yeah.
So what we're saying is Cyclops is the key to States.
With all the free super senses and all the super senses that's going to be happening over the next year, Precision Strike is going to be one of the best powers in the game for a while.
Oh, I mean, I think it already is, right? I mean, Black Panther, Uni.
But I think you're going to start, builders are going to say, I must have Precision Strike on the field with some range at all times.
I mean, I've been playing Makari on Unimine for a while, so.
Right, you got it. Yeah, that's nice. You don't pick it very often, I wouldn't guess, but you can if you need to.
I mean, Black Panther.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes down to a shape change roll and, a 6 on senses twice. And it's just, if he hits it that time, then you just do it again. So, I mean, that's like the advice for Black Panther is, I actually did like Paris's advice in the comment thread today for this was I'll just kind of read it if I can find it here. Because I don't want to misquote Paris. Where the heck is his comment?
His comment was play Felix Faust.
Right.
Yeah, it was. You got column A, which is Black
Yeah,
Panther.
I just don't see where his.
It's in that big reply thread, isn't it?
Yeah, but who was he replying to?
Matt, on that, or
No, he was replying to someone else, I think.
It was Josh Essex.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
that's
was
right.
Josh-
Yeah.
It was Josh X.
Josh.
The team formula.
Yeah, it was Josh X's thread.
I got it
Josh-
if you want me to read it.
Yeah, no, I got it here.
The how to build a team.
How to build a team. A, choose 165 Uniminer, 150 Black Panther. B, choose Lockjaw or Unseen. Choose Lockjaw. Add Groot. Fill in the rest with any configuration of Groot floras, objects, ID cards, special terrains, and or a map bonus. This formula will give you a pretty good matchup against pretty much anything, which is true.
Oh,
True and ultimately boring.
yeah, I know. Send me back to the dentist. Jesus God, how awful. I mean, I don't get mad. Well, there was a really interesting thread about people being lazy, and God bless Maddie. And there's no rule about what you bring to a meta event. If you can win the event with it, it's the right team for you to bring. If it's full point Goblin King, if it's full point Unimind, there's nothing bad you can bring. I make a lot of jokes about, you got to build your own team or else, forget that. It's a meta event. You got to show up. You got to try to win. At the same time, I do think that it's fun for certain players to go off formula, and then certain players are just like, "What's the formula?" I mean, look how long it took Unimind to catch on, and Unimind pretty much from the get-go was pretty clearly amazing. So people are very tentative to jump on a new team. Maybe that's why. Maybe if they want to see somebody else win with Wales before they'll really embrace it as an additional meta option going into various states events,
Well, it won the world. What else do you need?
I know, but it won Worlds. Tyler won Worlds with it, I mean, nobody copied Isaac's team from Nats either, did they?
No, I mean, I think pretty much everyone has copied Shredders with stuff.
Right. And do you expect to see a lot of them at states? You think there'll be a shredder at every states? You know what's back big time is Samcat. Not back; she never left, but still omnipresent is Samcat, and Skeets, and Overdrive, and that get across the map, blast your best piece, top two kind of team.
Yeah, I think the big things to think about that is if Tyler's team does become more prevalent, which I'm kind of seeing that bubble come up, is your transporter needs to have phasing. So in like the example where there's like, and what's been interesting is that Isaac kind of showed this at Nats, Adam Freeman and Easton have kind of shown this in a couple of builds where Samcap doesn't need a dedicated transporter. Ironheart, Star Fox, a Giant Girl is just as good of a transporter as Overdrive is for a Samcap team. So I think the point there is you don't have to start your build by saying Samcap Overdrive. You can include a few Giant Girls or just have Star Fox carry him out, because Star Fox will have a 15 movement, and there's plenty of range stuff to reach the back of the map from there without a perplex into range. So, I mean, you have Star Fox carry up Samcap, and then Samcap calls out Cyclops and goes 13 for 4 and shoots something off the side of the map with Psyblast. But yeah, no, I agree with you, Nate. That's been a big one for Is Sam Cap coming back? Jason, is there anything in particular you're looking forward to playing at States?
That I'm going to play myself?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try playing the Sentinel team at some point.
The which team?
The Tri-Sentinel team.
Yeah.
With the Doctor Stranges and Sheriff Strange, I should say, and the Green Lanterns.
Yeah, and I love the mystical team. There's been two versions of that. There's the Tri-Sentinel version and kind of the hard barrier version. And man, I really like those teams. I really like the hard barrier version with just like two Stranges, an Al Jordan, and two Green Lanterns.
I was playing with two Stranges and two Green Lanterns and Alex Wilder and three Tri-Sentinels.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking that if you're expecting Hawkeye, then like if you for sure know someone's playing Hawkeye, like drop the Tri-Sentinels and play an Al Jordan. And then you've just got a super good barrier team to stop Hawkeye.
Doesn't it? I'm sorry, Dan. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead, Nate. What did you? What do you?
I was just going to say, a team like that could benefit really nicely from the strategy that I've been using to stop Hawkeye, which is to call in. The Tri-Sentinels at a 20 defense against Hawkeye are pretty nice, especially if you've got the boxing ring. Although I don't know if the Tri-Sentinels want the boxing ring. But the Angel faculty ID to give ESD and the boxing ring, as a former Hawkeye player, that's the scariest defense against Hawkeye. You can get shape change, and that's fine, but I'd rather not have to roll for an 8 to hit your important.
Yeah, I think the only thing I have with that is Hawkeye teams should probably be playing Harley. I mean, Sam was playing Harley at ROC World Championships, and so that you can go +5 to your attack value and negate the boxing ring. Yeah, so you're still back up to a 14. You know, your worst case is a 14 on a 21.
But if you're doing that, you're not calling in Gene, so you're not getting your full board TK setup.
I know, but you got to move up to get into the boxing ring.
Barely. You can do it turn 1 before he fires, that's for sure.
Oh, no, I'm with you.
Why are we discussing this when Fat Spidey's going to win all 50 states?
Good point.
He's already won my heart.
I wish I was going to states because I would play Fat Spidey's.
He's number 1 in my heart.
Right? we got a build ready to go. We just need somebody with the balls to do it.
Share the build.
I think Jason built it.
Do you want to share it, Jason?
Sure, why not? Okay, so
it's still being tweaked, but this is the groundwork.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, I'll try.
So, you had 2 Fat Spider-Men, Shifting Focus Punisher, Shifting Focus Deadpool, Power Woman, the Gatling gun from the Punisher van, and a crap ton of ID cards.
Hellion.
And Hellion, yeah.
Yep.
So basically, you TK out, run down the board with Spider-Man. He calls out. He moves the Shifting Focus character who shifts, and then they attack or call it an ID card. Punisher can free pick up the Gatling gun and then just blast the shit out of everything.
Yeah, and you can shift into the rocket launcher Punisher who uses the Gatling gun. Like the original build had the Shifting Focus Captain Marvel on it because she could. They could all go out. Deadpool could call an ID card. You stay with the charge Captain Marvel who gets prob, and then Deadpool has prob because all your callouts are going to be X-Men. So you got double prob there and a perplex, and then you can shift the Captain Marvel into the running shot one. Carry your Fat Spidey with you for a PD, and then go ahead and you can triple target Psy Blast. Like you could target 1 standard character and 2 colossals, assign all the damage to the standard character, and then the penetrating damage that happens after resolutions as long as you hit the Colossals, would kill the Colossals without having to assign damage to them. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a couple different ways to play it. You have to, I think we were discussing, you have to play a barrier because you can hit the back of the map against a Hawkeye team with the Punisher variant, but you don't have theme, and you're going to need some way, because Hawkeye's probably going to get, I don't think the Hawkeye player is going to waste their time and get destroyed just so that they can freaking kill a Power Woman.
Do you
know what I mean? On what?
On available.
Nope. That's why I said it's going to take balls.
Miss with Punisher.
You do have you have prob available for the X-Men call-outs or whatever.
Right,
Punisher
but you
also
also have
like
a couple PDs. And
yeah. He has hoped to.
There's no X-Men call-in that has prob, is there?
You shift into the Deadpool that has the prob perplex for X-Men.
Oh, prob on your X-Men guys, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're going to call out. Punisher's
there's
more
no,
of a...
there's no X-Men that have a printed prob.
That's just like an awful lot of eggs to fire into a basket that could just go with one bad roll.
But what if
it hits?
Oh, and the
you know what I mean?
The other thing, Nate, and you'll like this, is that the shifting focus Punishers have the Marvel Knights trait, so they can take they can take Superman ally from Power Woman.
Power Woman, yeah.
Bust stealth.
Yeah, and you have it set up so you have two PDs to knock out and help your attack value out there.
And if you have anybody grouped.
It's one of those teams that'll ruin people's day, but I wouldn't try to ride it through a 7-round event.
But it's States.
That's a 7-round.
States is notoriously a little bit lower attendance, a little bit more of an wide open type meta. Like, you see some wild stuff win, but you're like, whoa, there's no way that would have won like a regional or like a mega qualifier or something over here, but like wherever it was, like it just, I don't know how that won, but it won, you know?
We just wanted to make a fat Spider-Man team that was at least half decent.
It's a cool idea.
With the Gatling,
really
I mean, it's like PJ was saying, you know, it's like with the Gatling gun and that Punisher's ability with the rocket-propelled grenades or whatever, you get to shoot at everybody that you can target with those rocket-propelled grenades. So it's like, here, you take 4, everybody around you take 3 or whatever. I mean, if you're going up against an Avengers squad and they don't see it, they're just going to get blown all to hell before they knew what happened.
You know, if they see Fat Spidey and shifting focus Punisher, they're going to start doing the
There's still a lot of people that don't know. I mean,
That's
obviously with us putting it out there and everything, they'll learn. But it's still a trick you can't stop because it's going to hit you from their side of the map to your side of the map. So, like,
right,
you have, like, I guess you're going to spread apart. But it's got to have a barrier to try to fight Hawkeye. Otherwise, Hawkeye gets the first shot. So you're going to lose your Power Woman, or he's just going to wait, but he can't really afford to wait unless he has barrier as well. And like we were saying, Hawkeye builds aren't notorious for throwing Iceman and stuff out there, so.
Right.
So.
It's fun.
Yeah. Nate, did you finish your nightly duty there?
Yeah, I'm back. My
okay.
children.
Your children are all in bed tonight.
Snuggled with visions of sugar plums dancing in their heads or something like that.
I'm pretty sure that's not allowed in Chicago.
Sugar plums?
Doesn't Chicago like ban sugar or something?
No.
That's guns.
We killed that. No guns unless you happen to know how to drive to Indiana, which is 20 minutes away. Really, Chicago is literally on the border with Indiana. When you leave the city limits going southwest or southeast.
Oh, that's like there's a college here in Kentucky called Murray State. They just did really well in the NCAA tournament. For a small school. They are right around the border with Tennessee, and they're a dry county. So the college kids who are old enough will just drive into Tennessee and grab booze and then go back across the border with it.
That's exactly what happens in Chicago. So
yep.
The gun ban doesn't do it here.
So
that's a song for a different podcast, I think.
Yeah, so Nate, while we're talking about Chicago, let's talk about you.
Yeah, let's talk about music. What do you want to
know? First, it's kind of probably a generic question. How long have you been playing HeroClix, and what's your favorite HeroClix figure?
I have been playing since the game rebooted, basically, which was right about, I guess Hammer of Thor was the new set when I started, and not coincidentally, my favorite piece is Thor Frog of Thunder, which I got in a God Pack when they used to have God Packs where you could get a Chase and 4 super rares in one booster.
Nice.
That was awesome. I pulled that in a King of the Hill event. It was
nice.
Really fun. Yeah.
What's King of the Hill event?
It's something they don't do anymore at the cons, where you used to, you'd have a one-on-one match with somebody, and if you won, it was sealed, and if you won, they would give you another free booster, and you'd keep playing until you lost.
Yeah, so, and they'd keep track of who had the most wins at the table, and at the end of the weekend, the person with the most wins got the big prize for King of the Hill.
Gotcha.
You could lose and jump back in. It was a pretty fun event.
I like it. Let's do it.
Every game you opened a new booster.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That'd
be fun.
I do like the idea of opening a lot of boosters.
Yeah,
you probably would have dug it. Well, I don't know. It depends on how much you like the sealed set, I guess. But
yeah. If there's something like Mighty Thor, oh my gosh.
Hammer of Thor was pretty solid. Had Smoky Foot Cap in it. He was pretty great. Ignored everything as long as he was outside.
Common Thor. Oh, so good.
Nightcrawler came out right after that with Web of Spider-Man, and he and Smoky Foot Cap together. Pretty cool combo. Killbox. I miss Killboxes.
Right? That doesn't really exist anymore, does it?
No, unless you can figure out how to make Speed Freak work
that's
before
exactly
retirement.
What I was going to say. Yeah, you just need to make Speed Freak work.
Or just bring all of the pieces that move everybody one square. Bring Enchantress, Mephisto, Aquaman, or King Aquaman, and just scoot them over to your Killbox.
No, give him flight, and then he can carry around Samcat and get that extra movement.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I used Killboxes are great. Get that piece and drop it into your 4 martial artists with 12 attacks.
Oh man, that was fun.
Yeah.
Did you also have to walk up to heal both ways to go get your boosters?
Yeah, it was, and the sculpts were worse, and then better, and then worse, and then the new sculpts are pretty much better. But yes, the sculpts were hideous. Yeah. The early sculpts were horrible. They just look like melted clay people. They're just really, really bad. They got kind of cool. Hammer Thor was actually pretty cool.
So
Arkham Asylum, that was cool.
So Nate, are you familiar with Mr. Chomps, our nasty ass wrestling alligator?
I am.
So Mr. Chomps wants to know: would you rather wrestle Mr. Chomps, the nasty ass wrestling alligator, in a fight to the death, or would you rather play Unimind Lockjaw at the next competitive event you go to?
It's time to win something, so I guess I'd rather play Unimind and Lockjaw than wrestle an alligator. Let's face it, I know my limits. I would.
Oh my gosh! See, I would have totally been like, would you rather wrestle an alligator or be forced to agree with Warren Jin on all politics?
Oh, I'll just fight that alligator. Bring the alligator.
Yeah, see, that's why we don't talk about politics on our HeroClix podcast.
Right?
Yeah. No, I don't know anything about politics. I'm poorly informed. And let's keep it.
So Nate, it's kind of you've been our first guest in a while that actually hasn't won a major event yet.
I know, that's funny, isn't it? Like I have
Ow.
Huh? Ow?
Ow! That's like
no. It's It has struck me as funny as well that people sort of listen to what I say, even though I haven't won anything. And I think it's because I'm a builder first and a pilot second. That conversation has come up recently, and I think my builds have been interesting. And some of my builds have won stuff. I just wasn't using them at the time.
Yeah, it's not meant to be it's not meant to be an owl thing. It's just
No, I didn't. I didn't take any offense at it. I appreciate it, but I do think it has a lot to do with the fact that I just talk a lot. You know, I'm happy to chime in. I'm a friendly guy. I travel a lot. I talk to a lot of people, and I usually finish in the top 8, even if I can't get that top seat claimed. I usually Patrick does not have to cut me open when I get back to Chicago.
Yeah, so your guys' thing is, and I didn't understand this for a while. Like, so if you don't make the cut, you get cut. And I thought for a while it was just mean you just got cut from the team, but actually your teammate Pat actually cuts you with a knife.
Right, he stabs me. Yeah, stabs me or cuts me. It depends on how badly I finished. Yeah, and same for him. He gets the same treatment. You know, he doesn't play as often, so the opportunity.
I was about to say I haven't heard from him from a while. Is he okay?
Well, when he lost in that roll-off to Matty G in Wisconsin, let's just say we weren't very happy with his performance. Yeah, we had
That's got to be one of the worst Italian impressions I've heard in a while, Nate.
That wasn't Italian. That was I was choking on a peanut.
he was trying. He tried.
All right.
Yeah. Do you get points for trying here?
Obviously, yeah. 10,000 points to Gryffindor.
That's what people call my son. His name's Griffin.
They call him Gryffindor?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another fun fact. I've never watched a Harry Potter movie or read a book.
Holy shit.
I have read books, just not Harry Potter.
No, I'm pretty sure he said he hadn't read a book.
That would explain a lot, probably, for a lot of people. But
Things I've never done.
Dan only needs one book, and that's the comprehensive rules book.
yes.
Well, no, that and the hardcover Iron Point
Oh yeah,
collection.
Oh my god, dude. I wish I had been on because y'all did not harp enough on the fact that he literally was like, "This is where you're wrong." Like, double down on his wrongness. Like we were the idiots.
Well, that's why you should have made the 100th episode, Dave.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm a terrible person.
All right, I accept your apology.
Yeah.
Now we can move past it.
Maybe.
I'm looking forward to good teams at States that are unique. Maybe some of Nate's builds.
I'm looking forward to the next wave of meta. I'm looking forward to retirement so that I can stop seeing some. I mean, Unijaw's still going to be there, and so will some other things, but other things will be gone. I wish people would dig deeper into what's out there already and play the really cool stuff that's not been tried out yet. I mean, there's a lot of untested stuff that could be game changing, and if somebody brought it to Nats.
Well, the problem is like, and not to just to interject there, Nate. It's one of those things like if you look at Nats, right, and maybe a larger field would be okay, but if you look at an event that me or you would have to go to, or any of us on the podcast in the region, or within this region here, if you go to an event and you want to win, like you're pretty set on wanting to win.
Yeah.
You have to plan on being able to beat Tyler Spees and his mini shredder.
Right.
You have to plan on beating one of the Clickstoff, playing Unimine Lockjaw.
Matt playing whatever he's going to beat you with.
Yeah, and someone playing Hawkeye.
PJ.
Playing. PJ playing something, and PJ being PJ.
I'm just going to go to Idaho, dude. Like...
I mean,
like, ain't no chance of finding any of them dudes in Idaho. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and
There's the secret. You want to win states, go to Idaho.
Yeah, and it's not like trying to toot our own horn, right? It's just the accomplishments speak for themselves, right? You're talking about a 3 times world champion, a national champion, multiple WKO state champions, all within 5-6 hours of where I'm sitting right now, and it's not an easy field.
Right,
unless you're in Idaho.
Right.
But
Idaho's 24 hours away, Dave. But yes,
I think if the
I'm getting in
game,
a plane now.
I don't know. I happen to think that I know the proven meta is finite, but the unproven meta is not infinite but huge. And I think if people were willing to dive into it, they would find that they could ride it further than they could ride Unijaw.
So I guess here's the question then Nate, and this is an interesting point. So would you risk your Nationals run on a team that if it loses map to Hawkeye, it loses?
Would I risk my Nationals team?
Your Nationals run.
No,
your Nationals run.
No, certainly not. I would have to account for everything in the meta. Yes, but I don't see where that means I have to play something that's already been established. You can do that with a new team too.
Yeah, but I think you got to think, does that new team have a good chance against, all these other things too? Just because it deals with Hawkeye doesn't mean that it deals with everything else.
But I feel like I've already played 2 new teams this year that can do that, and I think that there's millions more. You just gotta I think it's people are tentative and they want, especially people. I mean, David doesn't have a lot of time to practice, and he said it. I want to know I can stick in there and compete in games, even though I haven't had time to practice and build the perfect team. I want to be able to compete. I want to play Don't Die,
Yeah. Most people don't have the time to do that. They don't have the time to sit there and figure that out, and they don't get to go to that many events, so they take what they know is going to work.
No, I don't know if anybody plays as much as I do except PJ as far as traveling around our area, I go all over the place. I play almost every weekend at some event somewhere, and so yeah, my free time with my current living situation is fantastic. So
yeah, I think me, you, and PJ definitely travel the most. I think
that's true. Yeah, you're almost always playing at something every weekend. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, and that's a huge advantage. I mean, that's when you've seen, getting to see Adam Friedman pilot a SamCap team, getting to see a Black Panther team on the map 2 times in an event. That's, you can hear about it on a podcast, but there's something to playing against it on a map and seeing what it really like. I've told people a million times what the Grandmaster team does, and nobody believes me until I do it to them, and then they're like, "Oh, yeah, it does work."
So speaking of that, how many rounds did you get to promote Mangog last weekend?
4 of the 7. And 2 of them I didn't even try, and 1 I failed.
Why didn't you try on the other 2? Just because you didn't need to?
I won before it was necessary. I was Skyscraper Wonder Woman is occasionally a better retaliator than Mangog. I mean, situationally, especially if he's got Colossals and he hides his little guys behind the Colossals, then Skyscraper Wonder Woman hitting everything within 2 of her target doesn't need line of fire. So she's a better choice. And in those games, that was one opponent flew out of the starting area and up to mid-map before I could, on bottom of turn 1, so Mangog couldn't have retaliated and pulled the sword anyway, so I just sat on him. But I did pull the trick off. I got people to punch a puffin 7 out of 7 games.
Nice.
Yeah, that was exciting.
So if you'd faced a bunch of Thrill Killer Robins and Angels that all have stealth, you would have been really sad?
I'm going to win map, and the stealth is sparse in the Iceberg Lounge, and it's you can't get from one patch of it to another patch without spending a little time out in the open, so you can't hide forever Angels and Robins. And you sure as hell aren't going to shoot me from there.
So I didn't even look at the results. Are you using the 75-point Grandmaster?
Yeah.
And just making them punch things that are just kind of bleh, and then man-gogging them?
No, I'm making them punch the puffin that you get for the Iceberg Lounge map.
Mm-hmm. And then retaliate on them?
Yeah, and then Mangog them, usually.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Mangog with the 12 attack, with the prob on it from Grandmaster, and then he pulls the sword.
It's like, oh, did you think you were having a punching contest with a puffin?
Right. Right.
Wrong.
You get to kill this bird, and here's Mangog. Yeah, no, it works every time, and it's so far. I mean, people will. I mean, Patrick will solve it first because he plays against it constantly. He's already figured out how to not lose on turn top of 2 against it, but yeah, that's when it happens. It's top 2, so you don't even really. If you equip stuff, then forget it. You're screwed. You better run.
I love it. I love that you're making Mangog even better.
That's the funny thing. I'm like, it's a Grandmaster team, and people are like, it's a Star Fox Mangog team.
No, it's a Grandmaster team. He's important.
He is. He's essential.
Yeah, I mean, the team wouldn't work without him, right?
Oh, of course not. No. It's not enough just to have Star Fox and Mangog. You got to have a way to make them trigger Mangog, because people aren't stupid.
It's too bad I can't use Fat Spider-Man with Mangog.
Yeah, there was a ruling on that recently, wasn't there? He can only
if he's placed by any effect that's not his own, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because Fat Spidey would be great to pull Mangog across the map. Come on, buddy.
If he could pull Colossus across the map, that'd be great, yeah.
Oh, can he not do it to them? Okay.
No, only standard characters.
Gotcha. I haven't been paying that much attention. That's why I play Don't Die.
Oh gosh. So let's switch on to Rebirth Street.
Is that parallel to Danny Street?
That's parallel to it's the Ultra Chase in this set could have been Jesus.
Now we have to rely on Tyler.
Yeah. Tyler is not making Jesus. I have no idea what he is making because he is holding very strong to his NDA, which is a good.
I was about to say NDR or DNR.
His DNR.
Oh, do not resuscitate.
No, we had. It was funny that we had a guy. There was a guy that I didn't catch his name, but he posted a Jesus dial.
Yeah, I saw it,
and I sent it to the guys, and I got Tyler for like a hot minute. He was like, "Is this in the set?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude. The set name's Rebirth."
You know anybody else that was reborn?
Yeah, I'm like, come on now, Jesus is in the set, and he's canon in DC, so
that's right. He is DC canon because the Phantom Stranger is Judas.
Right.
Did you know that, Nate?
I did not.
Yeah. The Phantom Stranger is Judas, therefore Jesus has to be DC canon.
Well, I mean, has to?
He has to be, because like the part of the Phantom Stranger's lure is that, he has to make up for betraying Jesus.
It was the betrayal, the betrayal with a kiss that made him Phantom Stranger.
Yeah, and there's literally a power on the old card. Let me look him up real quick on Realms.
It's two of them. It's 30 pieces of silver.
There you go.
And then the other one is destined to betray.
Yep.
Nice.
You learned something today.
Well, and literally, and then his other one, the chase one, has "I walk with the Lamb." I walked with the Lamb.
Yep.
Yep. One above all. The one above all click.
All right.
So, things that are actually in Rebirth. So we'll do our full set. We'll do our full set review after pre-release, but before launch, after we have some time to play with them. it's one of those things. I don't really like to just, this dial looks a certain way or whatever. Some things stand out, so that's what we want to talk about, is things that are standing out. So let's just kind of round robin and talk about kind of the one piece that stands out to us from the preview so far. Nate, what's yours?
Honestly, nothing has jumped out at me as being something that I'm excited about building with. So I will have to play with it before I have a really good answer about what stands out. Everything seems like it would die relatively easily to a lot of the, like to Unimind. So if I'm going to drop 125 points on something, I need it to not die to a strong Psychic Blast,
Right.
So I haven't seen anything. I apologize. There's nothing in the set that's blowing my mind.
What do you have your quote that you said from before we started recording?
The quote that I said before we started recording.
Yeah, if it doesn't have massive values and interest.
Oh yeah. There's basically three things that I'm looking for in a piece. It's got to have a power that nothing else can do, like Grandmaster, or it's got to have stats like through the roof, or it's got to have a stop click at least, if not several stop clicks, before I can even really consider putting it on a team. Unless it's a filler. Before I can consider. Before I start thinking about building around it, at least, before I start thinking of it as a central sort of a piece. If I'm going to drop 75 points on it, it better have one of those three things, I think. That's my thought. And I'm not seeing... Mr. Oz is interesting. I haven't given it enough time to really let it sink in. Black Manta is interesting.
Since you mentioned Black Manta, I've heard him a few times saying that he is good.
He can make water. That's nice.
Is he a super rare or rare?
Super rare.
Super rare black?
He's number 54.
54. Let's see why he's good.
He can pop around the map within his own water squares, which is nice. So he has a really big swing.
So he generates power. Power generates up to 4 water markers. And then free, if occupies water terrain, you may place him into a square of water terrain within 5 squares. So that's neat. He can make
the poison dart thing. Did you see that? When Black Manta hits with a range attack, and he's got energy explosion. Give each hit character a poison dart marker. And when he uses poison, characters with a poison dart marker are considered adjacent. So forget getting away from him. You're getting poisoned forever, I assume, as long as you got hit once. That seems pretty good.
Right. And then he's got energy shield deflection, invulnerability, and willpower. So those things I like all of those things, but I think where he falls apart is his keywords. Right, so to be able to pull off any of those things, he's going to have to be on a theme team. I guess he could be on a random team, right? Like TK out Black Mana, Energy Explode, Giant Girls.
I would do something like that for sure. Yeah, I think it can be played outside a theme, but yes, keywords are terrible.
They're neat. They're fun for casual.
Yeah, and if ATAs were still legal, then give me that Legion of Doom ATA is hilarious.
Oh, all my teammates are useless.
Yeah, that would be great for him. Bump his damage up to a 5 and then send him out.
Yeah, and then I like the Injustice League stuff. There's lots of fun stuff there. I just don't think I see it. If he generated water and he was an animal to get some King Shark action going on.
Right.
He just needs to augment something too. I don't know if he's enough. I don't think he does enough to build around.
No, I don't think so either, and his stats aren't good enough. 17 defense is not great. 11 attack is like the bare minimum for my primary attacker, but that's pretty low. And 3 damage is not scary to anybody.
Yeah. Even if he themed with Big Tonys.
Right.
Just not happening.
That'd be hilarious.
So, what's your pick, Jason?
Just a fun piece to play with. I don't know. I kind of like Starfire on the 50-point line.
Oh man, she's so good once Hawkeye retires.
Right.
Now everyone says, "Do you like her at 100 or 50?"
At 50.
I do like her at a 50.
I mean, a cosmic keyword, 7 range, running shot, pulse waver with a stop click that gives you charge flurry and 4 damage and battle fury.
Hypersonic energy explosion?
Yeah.
That seems good.
But I think that 2 50-point Corianders beats one 100-point Coriander.
The old Wolverine thing.
Yeah, you're pretty much right. Yeah, like 50-point Wolverine is, 3 50-point Wolverines are better than a 150-point Wolverine.
Right.
Oh, which I'm just going to go ahead and add this in as a sentence. During WrestleMania weekend, which is April 7th, we will be live streaming 6 Wolverines versus 5 Daredevils. So
nice.
Look
nice.
They already conquered the 6 Taha Jokers.
Dude, the Daredevils are done.
Too many attacks, yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll beat them.
Yeah, so we're going to do that that weekend of WrestleMania on April 7th. So we don't have a States that day, so... but no, I like the Starfire. Boy, it's just solid. And she's power cosmic, right? So...
right.
If you play 2 of them, they can Titans heal each other off their stop clicks, and...
Well, she's got everything. She checks she's got solid stats. She's got amazing power set, and she's got a stop click. That's a very playable. That's a piece that just isn't going to die to anything except, as you said, Hawkeye. Yeah. Very easy.
Now the only thing I think that she's missing, right? Because I can always complain about something, I suppose, is I wish she had improved targeting hindering.
Mm-hmm.
Pulse wave gets around a little bit.
Not on Uni.
No, true.
Yeah, Nate, I'm wanting things that are able to beat Uni, and I'm not getting them.
Well, that's because Uni's broke, but
Uni doesn't have any weaknesses. Uni is the most complete, self-contained 165 points maybe ever in the game. Like, there's nothing that handles itself the way that Uni handles himself, and he's so hard to kill, and there's no easy answer except for Surtur, and even that's not an easy answer, because most Uni players are pretty good about... Green Arrow, there's, you can use your super senses and your shape change against him, so he seems less exciting.
And Mastermind, if I could ever get that Eternal that I want.
No, we're good.
I mean, there's just no weak. He doesn't have a bad matchup. At worst, he's got like a 50-50 matchup.
Yeah, I mean, he has bad matchups against Wales and Hawkeye.
Yeah, I guess the spear making.
But does the Whale team have any outwit?
It doesn't need it. It just needs to hit him once, and then he's dead. If they can get one hit off on him, then he's pretty much toast. Because they'll just ping him to death with Mini Shredder. I mean, I've just had that happen too much.
Right.
I mean, if they can roll the 8 or the 10 once, past a reroll, then you're hosed.
I did have a team that I was going to bring to one of your events, Dan, that was just expressly designed to beat Unimind. It had the old Earth X cap on it for the mind control protection and the leadership trick. It had Darwin on it. It had, a couple of Surturs and then something with the blood axe. Wolverine with the blood axe. No, not Wolverine with the blood axe. Somebody with precision strike with the blood axe. Oh, Raphael with the blood axe.
Oh man.
reset token Raphael, the starter set Raphael.
Oh, the quarter one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he can't just be one-shotted on his approach. That was but it couldn't beat other things. But it could beat Unimind pretty regularly, but it couldn't beat other things.
Yeah.
There's no answer to it. That's the problem.
Dave, what's your Rebirth piece?
I like Raven. I think Monster's getting pretty good. I know it's about to take a hit with the Shredders going away. Mystical is kind of on the uptick, and she's a good taxi for him with great support powers.
Yeah, I like her too.
Phasing teleport, stealth, passenger 3, but only carry characters that share a keyword, regardless of flight. That's a big one, even though a lot of them aren't flying. And then she got perplex, probability, control, and support. So I just think she's a good taxi. I don't know, did Mystical have like a dedicated taxi before?
Yeah, I mean you've got not
really.
You got really not really. Yeah, I mean you got the two, the Raven that's retiring that places, and then the Nightshade.
Right, but they're not taxis. They only just bring one person up with them, right?
Right. Yeah. So it's
I mean she's like
taxi.
Right. Yeah, she's a true taxi with good support powers.
And
she's hard to pop from range because she's got a 17 ESD and she has stealth. So
it's funny when you say taxi and you mean multi-figure taxi because my bad. That's what I mean. Yeah. It just seems like the best taxis these days are multi-figure taxis. No, I think to be able to move a swarm around with a theme is. I mean, if you're going to go to a theme team, then you want to be able to carry more than one figure for sure.
Right.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that Raven carrying 2 Venom caps is your go-to here.
It could be fun. I mean, she's got the keyword for it.
I do think that new Teen Titans trick is pretty amazing.
They're moving free one or
free after you move? Holy cow! That's a trick.
I don't know. I just think she's got good keywords and does cool things. You know what I mean? Like she does sort of what Pip does, except for the death trait thing. But she's a better support piece than Pip.
Yeah, for only 10 more points. I agree with you.
Yeah, for only 10 more points. So
yeah. No, I agree with you.
Imagine carrying some... is there going to be a narrow time where she's playable before retirement?
Yes, the month of May. Yeah.
Imagine how annoying she's going to be whenever you put some Green Lanterns with her.
Yeah, carry up the...
carry up Wallman.
Oh, yeah, her carrying 4 JW Green Lanterns, that sounds
Well, she can only do 3, yeah.
Yeah, 3 of them, yeah.
But that could still be fun.
Yeah, I like it. So I think we would be remiss if we don't talk about President Rickard.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's my favorite. I don't know what I'm thinking. He's my favorite. You're right.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things that I like about him, and I mentioned this as soon as he was previewed. Which, by the way, congratulations to Jose for winning 2016 Mexican Nationals and selecting this piece for us. I know they don't get to have any part of the dial design, but thanks for picking this guy. The big thing that he has that I really like is that he's a problem solver. And the problem is that there are themes without leadership that need leadership. And he gives that to you. Now, there's actually themes where he can take out the leader, he can replace the leadership and help up your theme. I personally actually like him on the Hawkeye team. Now, with a caveat. Old Man Cap can call out IDs, it gives you an outwit, and it's
a perplex.
And, President Rickard pushes into perplex, so it's not completely lost. But his leadership is better in general because you can untoken your entire team. And assuming that you have an opposing team to untoken, there's that caveat. But he does it on a 4 through 6 instead of a 5-6. So you can potentially make your team go every turn. Oh, I'm going to take this token off of Hawkeye, and I'm going to remove this token from your Puffin.
From your Pog that you
Right.
just got with your map bonus.
Joke's
From your
on
walking
you,
wood.
Puffin has an 8 attack.
Puffin's dead.
Can I?
As soon as that Hawkeye gets uncleared.
There are some soldiers that show up here that I do think the soldier keyword gets a boost, and someday I will build an in-cap soldier team around Captain America Principled, and I think the Deathstroke, the uncommon Deathstroke, would have to be on this.
Wasn't there a guy who made a splash with a complete Super Friends team?
Yes,
Yeah,
Do they all have the Justice League keyword, or is it just Super Friends?
both.
Okay, so there's a lot of new Justice League stuff that you can plug and play in here.
Actually, maybe they don't have the.
No, I don't think they all have. They don't all.
Okay,
have.
I just didn't know. I figured
Batman
some
and
of
Robin
them would
have the
probably
Batman.
have it.
Yeah. Yeah, Hawkman has it.
No, I take that back. They do all have Justice League.
Has it. Yeah, they all. Yeah.
Okay.
They do.
So,
yeah.
so there might be, I'm not really sure how it worked. I was just happy that it did well. But like I said, there's some Justice League stuff in here they might be able to plug and play, like Billy Batson.
Yeah, I like it for 20 points for Perplex.
That team beat me and Pat. He beat both of us.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, the way that team worked, it was actually a hard barrier team.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, he would win
Just
map.
built on Apache Chief and then Flash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and just make Apache Chief really big?
Yep. Hide behind double barrier, build Apache Chief to massive in an indoor map, and then Quake from 14 squares away, and then double.
Yes.
Jason, why didn't you do that?
I don't know.
You fool.
Yeah, it was
That's
good.
awesome.
It was good.
But yeah, I do like Billy as well, and that's a good one. Billy's also mystical too,
Yep.
with a stop click. So there's your stop click.
Yeah.
I also enjoy that there are outsiders in this set. It seems there's a good amount of outsiders TA going out. It's always a super useful, and it seems like it comes back every couple years, but it's always been super useful as far as team abilities go, and underappreciated, really.
Yeah. So let me ask. So we asked. Aaron Morgan had asked about Black Mana. We talked to him a little bit, and then we've talked a little bit about William Sanders asked about Teen Titans. So the last piece that I think we got a couple questions here to answer for that is the super rare Deathstroke a meta piece, or does toughness and no rollouts not cut it?
No.
Yeah, you got to kind of have a rollout at this point.
Yeah, so he's got he's basically got the Speed Force trait where he can move and hit and give a speed token. So he can use things like EE, but 150 points are not a lot.
Why wouldn't I just play Black Panther at 150 points instead of this?
All right, on to the next question. And then Alex Coos asked, Nate, have you found anything that's going to work with Thrill Killer Robins in Rebirth?
No, not yet. Not yet. None of the Batman family stuff has caught my eye, except maybe Prez.
Yeah.
He can be anything you want him to be.
Honestly, yeah, no, I mean, Prez could be great. Although I already have taken token off tricks on that team, but it would be... I would never have a token on a Robin, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I also think the 18 defend is relevant.
Sure.
I mean, like on the Avengers team, I mean, that makes Hawkeye a 21 pretty consistently on off turns. And Giant Girls are a 20 to punch.
Yeah.
In general, I mean, that's just your...
An 18 defend is fantastic, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I hate 17 defend. That's the worst.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not a 20 defend, right? A 20 defend would be better, but
Oh, that was a 19 on the old Jakeem Thunder.
Right. So let's see. Did we get any other Rebirth section questions in here? Nope. So let's talk about X-Men, the animated series, which is being colloquial known as X-Taz, the Dark Phoenix Booster Breakdown. So,
Oh God.
yeah, it's going to be epic, dude. I'm so looking forward to this one.
I'm not.
Why?
Why?
Dude,
Dude, it's awesome.
Dude, I literally just I hate X-Men metas. They're
Oh,
so
God, I love it.
boring.
I love it.
It's the same. We just had X-Men dominate for the last year. Why more X-Men? And it's so stupid.
Dave, we get
Give me something new. We just got done with X-Men.
Dave, we are.
And they're
gonna
still
get,
around.
We're going to get something new. We're going to get Colossal X-Men.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Woo.
I'm finally going to get my X-Men Retaliator.
Yeah, we're finally going to get cheap X-Men to make their theme better. It's like whenever we were drowned in Batman stuff. Go away.
No, this is way better
Get the
than
Batman
get
stuff
outta
away.
here.
Get
This
the
is way
X-Men
better
stuff
than
away. No,
No.
it's not.
All right, here's the set breakdown. 80 figures.
Yay. It's X-Men War of Light. Shoot me now.
Oh, gosh. 12
I'm sorry, it's not a question set, Dave.
Yeah. 12 commons, 1 prime. 12 uncommons, 1 prime. 10 rares, 1 prime. 10 super rares, 1 prime. 6 chases. 10 uncommon 2x2s with a prime. A prime 2x2s. Oh, my God, I'm losing my shit. 10,
You're losing your money is what you're losing.
whatever. 10 rare 2x2s with a prime and 5 super rare 2x2s with a prime. So we're getting a total of 28 Colossals in this set.
Oh, dear Lord. Sentinels out the ass.
Yeah, so
I mean,
I think from the army builder guys, they are just going to love having cheap Sentinels to play with. How fun is that to do in a Golden Age game with some Master Mold?
Oh yeah.
What if they give us a new Master Mold
They might.
They
It's
might.
very possible.
Oh my gosh!
to go
Dave,
with the new Sentinels?
I didn't even think about that, Dave.
Oh, man, Dave, I'm getting giddy now.
Well, of course, there's got to be a new Master Mold with all these Colossals.
I mean, you would think that.
Yeah.
See, now that I could get behind. Right, I could get behind a bunch of him making a crap ton of Colossals. It's oh, that's cool. Your Iron Man makes Pogs. I make giant colossal pissed off Sentinels.
Was Master Mold on the animated series?
Yes, he
Yes.
absolutely
Yep.
was.
Mhm.
They captured him, and he was inside of a giant dam. And
Yeah, cranking out Sentinels.
mhm.
All right, you know what? I'm starting to sway my opinion because it is the animated series. But my main thing is just, I'm just so sick of X-Men.
You know you want
At
that,
least you know what? It'll
Colossus.
bring new X-Men.
Yeah.
At least I won't be looking at the same ID card options over and over and over again. Maybe somebody will throw something else out there.
I mean, here's the thing. I went through the Wikipedia page, the official one for the X-Men series, not some Iron.
You
Fist.
sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Because I just wanted to see all of the Colossals that there could be. So I'll just run down my thoughts here. We know that we're getting a Colossal Dark Phoenix. You get the regular Phoenix. You get the Master Mold. You can get an Apocalypse. You can get a Juggernaut.
Yeah, we better get a Colossal Juggernaut.
We can get a Blackbird Terrain Dial. And
We're getting Shadow King, Nimrod.
Oh yeah, those were in the previews, right?
right.
Yeah.
How about a Colossal Mojo?
Yeah, that was in there too. That's right, yeah.
Apocalypse.
That hasn't been previewed, but I just said that could be a thing. Yeah.
What, Apocalypse?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I figured if they're going to make a Colossal, maybe we'll get a new Onslaught. I don't know if he was in the animated series.
I don't remember Onslaught being in the animated series. I could be wrong, though.
I don't think he was. But
what if we get Wolverine in his Jeep?
Oh my gosh! Or Cyclops riding his motorcycle.
Cycle?
Oh yeah, there you go.
I hadn't even thought about this yet, Dave.
Oh. There you go.
I'm just nerding out over here.
What if we get like just a really bad ass sculpt, and it's not a colossal? It's just a 2x2 base Magneto with a bunch of scraps and stuff flying around him.
That's pretty cool.
That would look cool. It'd be highly breakable, but it would look sweet. So like the old one with like the lightning and crap and like the car doors and stuff, but like actual like just a bunch of it.
There was a 2x2 Clown Prince of Crime Joker. There was nothing big about him or anything, but he had a 2x2 base for some reason.
Right, and then there was like the Batman and Catwoman and
the
stuff
Spider-Man,
like that, right?
The Spider-Man that had the cityscape behind him from the
That's right. He
Fantasy
was
number 15.
well. Right.
Yeah. Those are all inspired by the brick figures from way back.
Yeah. You know what? They're just gonna piss everybody off and bring back team bases.
Dave, did you know that there's also a Summer OP X-Men set?
Yeah, because that's what we need. More X-Men. I just want a good Magneto.
You mean besides the past 4 Magnetos we've gotten that are all good?
The only good one was the Age of Apocalypse one. The rest were debatable.
The free running shot one was great.
Nah. Once per game running shot. Woo! I'll just pay 50 points for something that has running shot all the time. You know what I mean?
I don't believe you. I don't.
Magneto Realist was good.
Magneto Realist is good.
Debatable. How come nobody plays him if he's good?
Because people are lazy and they don't play the crazy stuff. They play the established stuff. We already talked about this.
I'm just saying.
They're also they're not necessarily lazy. They just may not have time.
Yeah, no, lazy is the wrong word. And the good point came up. Yeah, it's not laziness, but people are tentative because they don't have a lot of time to test to try out anything that hasn't been proven by someone else.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I think there's a Magneto Realist team out there that could win. Maybe with an Avengers Hulk, the free Quake Hulk, getting a free move from Magneto. That's a thing.
Why don't you just play them with Cap Resilient then?
Yeah,
that's even better.
Yeah.
Wait, aren't they both title characters?
Yeah, you can't do 2 title characters.
No, you just play Hulk with the Captain America.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, that's already being done. But I'm saying you could also do it different ways. Yeah.
Worst way. Okay.
I just reserve. How about this? I reserve judgment. I'm a little irked that it's just more X-Men. Because they're just X-Men on everything right now. So I just want to shake things up, man.
To me, my mutants.
There are no X-Men right now, Dave. It's all Hawkeye.
I played a kid.
But the Hawkeye still has X-Men on the side to call out, and
that's all there is.
But that's what I'm saying. There's X-Men on every single competitive team because every call out is a stinking X-Men.
Except for the ones that aren't, like Joker and Harley.
Right, but I mean, you're looking at, 8 IDs as compared to, a butt ton of IDs and a lot more meta options out of the X-Men stuff, so there's, one good Harley worth calling out.
2, but yeah. Did you have something you were going to say, Nate?
No.
Okay.
I recall what it was.
All right. So, we still got our last segment of the night, and that's our listener questions. So, we are super excited about Rebirth, but we are even more excited about XCAS. So,
it needs a better abbreviation. I don't like that.
All right. Dark Phoenix Saga, whatever. Zack Strong asks you, Nate, you always seem to come up with creative teams. What is your thought process when building?
I either think about how to stop something that's happening in the meta right now, like a trend in the meta that everybody's doing, like don't die or something, and a team maybe with huge attack volume output or something like that, or find a piece that does something really cool and build around it. Add the things that will help it handle the established meta. I never build without, again, like Dan said, if it can't beat Hawkeye, I don't bring it to a tournament. If it can't beat Unimind, I don't bring it to a tournament. So, I mean, not that it has a good matchup against those things, but I have to at least know that, you know, there's a chance, and it's better than 5% that I could win it. But, yeah. So, yeah, it's just finding, I don't know, there's so many pieces that seem like, oh, wow, I'd love to try that. And that's how I start my teams, and then the rest of it is, you know, filling it in with stuff that works.
Gotcha. George Himes writes, why is Illinois lacking in WKO major events?
I don't know. There's not really much of a competitive scene in Chicago. There's a few of us that love competitive stuff, but we go elsewhere. And there's, as far as Chicagoans are concerned, there's Chicago and there's Illinois, and we're not really part of the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's really anything south of Chicago that's competitive events at all.
There's really anything south of Chicago in the state of Illinois, but you didn't hear that from me.
No, I mean, that makes sense. It's a pretty open state. I don't.
There's really, there aren't any population centers. Not being flipped. There aren't any population centers in Illinois, and Chicago doesn't have the scene. All the people are in Chicago, and the people in Chicago don't want to play clicks right now. So it's disappointing to me. For a while, I tried really hard to get the scene going. I know Ken's trying really hard right now to get the scene going, and there are a few people showing interest. It seems odd with the number of people in the area that there wouldn't be more. So you know how it works, and you need a swell. You need several people. You can't just have one person who's excited about clicks who can keep a scene afloat, or two people, or even three. You need 10 to 15 regular locals that give a shit about competitive events, 8 of which would show up if you had an important event at your shop before you can start thinking about doing regular stuff.
Yeah. So, to be honest, I'm going to skip Matty G's 2 questions. Other than to say this, I had a negative play experience with Matty G last weekend. Who is breathing so heavy? Anyways, I had a negative play experience with Matty G last weekend due to his play style of not practicing. I had to call the judge on him due to some stalling issues, and I don't want to hash into any drama on the podcast. We're here about top level play events and top level play and previews and all sorts of fun stuff, and Matt did not bring that, so that's all I'm saying. We're done. Next question. Mike Houghton writes in, when using Hawkeye-based teams, what can you do to combat Unimind or Black Panther?
Hit
them. Yeah.
And hope they don't roll.
Yeah, Adam Friedman pointed out this is have them fail all their rollouts and crush them. Easy peasy every time.
Yeah, even Hawkeye doesn't have a really good matchup against Uni. If Uni hits some rollouts, forget it. So...
Yeah. Christian Plonka writes in, what are the top 3 one-man army figures right now? I think it's only one. I think it's pretty much just 300 Uni.
You think everybody solved Gabi, or they just don't care anymore?
Well, the problem is that, like, if you have exospecs, your Gabi's going to die.
Yeah, but I'm not running into many exospecs teams. Like, I haven't seen a lot of reliable, like, big attackers putting on exospecs, but I haven't been to as many competitions as you.
You mean Hawkeye can put on the exospecs instead of the spears?
Okay, well, have fun, I guess. You only get one pulse wave, and then your Hawkeye dies.
Not whenever he goes 13 attack, 5 damage or more.
No, he still dies. 5 damage doesn't kill Gavi last time I checked.
Well, then the other thing, then after that, Dave, Star Fox puts on the exospecs and then pulse waves him 14 for 5.
Wait, okay, well, I mean, if he's going to cross all the way over to the map and then put on exospecs, I guess, but...
I think Jason has fallen asleep on us.
I think he is.
I am not asleep.
Yeah, he totally did.
I did
He
not.
did. He totally passed out.
What was that, snoring or something?
Yeah.
You were breathing pretty heavy, man.
Yeah, you were.
I was not
It is pretty
asleep.
late.
I heard everything we just talked about Star Fox crossing the map and putting on exospecs, and Gabi and Hawkeye wearing the exospecs and all that, so...
I mean, or to be fair, the Gabi or Star Fox can just wear the exospecs and, go 14 for 4 multiple times.
Right, but my main thing is, he said the top 3 one-man army. So how is Gabi not at least one of those top 3?
Gabi is definitely the number 2 one-man army. Whether or not he's viable...
You think he's better than 250 Panther?
No, so here's the thing. I don't think 250... So, one-man army is you only have one dude on the map.
Yeah.
That's the...
No.
I go with a strict interpretation of that.
But he may have been asking about 10 pulls, but that is a different sort of question.
Yeah, he said OMA, so I'm thinking one dude on the map. So Uni and Gabi,
But
I think, are the only 2.
But Gabi's like a distant second.
Right, but he said top 3.
Yeah, and then third is like not even in existence.
I mean, I guess the closest thing would be the 250 Panther.
Yeah, but 250 Panthers, you're going to have stuff with him.
Right, you're going to... I mean, but they're kind of inconsequential.
Except for, the Infinity Cop version. I probably like that version the best. Where you either kill Panther or get harassed by a bad cop all day.
Well, just wait till we got the 30, 40 point, or like the 30-point Infinity Gauntlet to put on him and stuff.
Oh, that thing better be good.
Yeah.
I want to see what it does. I'm tired of thinking about it. Jake Carlisle, why do you think Isaac is a sleeper piece? I want to be clear, Isaac is not a sleeper piece. You guys should all be getting your Isaacs.
I have mine.
Pogs are great. Stop click mid dial is even better. You should like that kind of piece, Nate.
Yeah, the only reason I hadn't really jumped on Isaac is because I keep hearing other people jumping on Isaac, so it's like, all right, I'll find out what he does.
Yeah.
We'll see if I need him or not. I know PJ's freaking out about him. He's dying to play him. So.
Yeah, I am too. After Hawkeye retires.
God, I'm so tired of saying that about every fucking thing out there.
I know.
I mean, the problem. I mean, here's the problem. Isaac, and I'll just say why. Isaac gets hit to a stop click, generates all of his pog. Hawkeye kills all of his pog.
No, I get that. I'm just tired of it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
And
we had to extend out the retirement an extra fucking month. Good job.
Yeah, exactly. Christian Bojan writes in, with the news of X-Men animated series being Colossal boosters, do you think the possibility of X-Men getting Colossal retail is real? Yeah, let's hope. Yeah, 10-point Retaliator X-Men keyword.
Fuck yes.
Well, my main thing is how many of the actual X-Men in the animated series were Colossal? All their enemies were, but not the actual X-Men themselves.
Shut up, Dave.
So even if we get Colossal Retaliators, they're not going to have the X-Men keyword. So
Astro Professor X is a Colossal, I think, in this set. There you go.
Okay, well, you might get one guy, and he's probably going to suck ass.
Shut up,
Yeah,
Dave.
his retaliation will be something stupid.
Right?
Don't ruin it for me.
In cap. But only to adjacent characters.
No, just give
with an 8 attack.
Just give me a cheap piece that gives pieces the X-Men keyword. That's what I want.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, as long as he's 10 points, who cares what he does?
No, he's going to be 35 points. I'm just saying, like, how many actual X-Men in the animated series were giant?
Yeah.
Colossal.
Yeah.
No, maybe Wolverine and his Jeep will be a retaliator.
What about Dark? Maybe
they get
Dark
to use
Phoenix
Ram for free. You place them and then they ram.
Maybe Dark Phoenix or Phoenix will be a retaliator. There you go.
But they're not going to have the keyword.
Phoenix would have the keyword?
No, they won't do that. They'll give her Cosmic and
regular Phoenix would have the keyword.
Oh man, what if Phoenix is like a 10-point retaliator?
Yeah, more like a Dormammu 35-point retaliator.
No.
I'm just saying, I don't see it happening. I see retaliators, but probably not X-Men retaliators.
All right.
Just rain on my parade, why don't you?
I'm not trying to crush your dreams. I'm just trying to be realistic.
You already did.
I'm just trying to be realistic.
Now you're going to tell me the Hawkeye's not going to retire come July 1st or something?
Yeah, they're going to save him. They're just going to be like, actually, Hawkeye's going to stay here. Unimind's going to retire at his place.
Don't say that.
I'm so looking forward to another year of Unimind.
You're on some bullshit, Dave.
I feel like it's already been 3 years of Unimind Lockjaw group.
It feels that way, doesn't it? It feels.
I'm not trolling.
It feels like I've been prepping for Lockjaw Unimind longer than I've had to prepare for anything ever.
Right.
And it's going to be here for another year.
Groot hasn't even been out for a year yet.
I just said it feels like we've been having to prepare Unimind Lockjaw Groot teams for forever. Like, they're just everywhere, and it feels like they've always been there. I can't remember a time before Unimind Lockjaw.
All right, his second part of his question, with all 50 states being represented with ROC State provincials, I mean, that includes 50 states plus Canada and Puerto Rico, do you see positive growth trend for HeroClix in the future? Absolutely.
Yeah, why not?
Say, but yeah, I mean, it's not selling like it used to, but I think the competitive scene is great. I don't know what that means for the game. I don't know. You know, you hear all kinds of stories about the games dying, and that's been going on for 15 years. And it actually did die and then came back. But seems to be going strong to me. Every major event I go to has enough players who are excited and bought a lot of clicks. So, and the stores sell out of things. It's not like you can always, you know, the fact that the things sell out and WizKid seems to be doing pretty well, I don't think the game's going anywhere. But
just wait till them wrestling fans trickle into the HeroClix fandom.
That seems unlikely with the $8 price tag on the clicks. I think the people who come in as collectors of those may not become regular players if they have to pay $8 per figure.
Well, I mean, that's just going to get them in the door, man. It's just going to get them in. They're going to bring their Stone Cold Steve Austin to a Clicks game and be like, oh, what are these? Oh, I can get a lot more of these for cheaper. And then we got them. Wrestling fans are pretty rabid about stuff they like.
So I think you guys inadvertently answered Dustin McKinnon's question. Congratulations.
Your pricing structure sucks.
And then,
I would have preferred blind boosters and like a gravity feed like the Captain Marvel set and stuff.
And Harrison Fordyce asked about our map situation. What we kind of talked about that at the beginning of the episode. Pat Fraser says there should be a 3 Colossal max. Fight me.
Yeah, he's just being controversial because I am complaining because the new rule makes it so that you only can have 3 Colossals on your team before you start killing your little guys.
Yeah. So, Ken Small wants to know, 2-part question. How do you reconcile the concepts of free will and determinism?
You know, I'm still wrestling with that one. It's I believe that's a lifelong question. I don't think you ever get to fully determine the answer to that one, and I have nothing to add to it. to what people already know about it.
Yeah, I think I thought about this one actually. I probably prepped for this question more than some of the other ones. Is that free will and determinism are what I want to say? They both exist at the same time. And
Fair. That's like the yin and the yang, the good and evil. They're part of the same, two sides of the same coin.
Right. They're actually your free will is already determined.
Interesting.
I think I'm going to go over where Jason is and take a nap with him.
I'm not taking a fucking nap.
Why is he so mad about the fact that he's not taking a nap?
You should call this episode Jason Naps.
Sleepy time with Jason.
Nappy time with Jason.
Jason doesn't get enough nappy time. That's the problem.
Yeah. So, and these other ones I had to Google, which was your
deontology,
utilitarianism versus deontology.
Now y'all are just making words up.
No.
No, they're not. They're not.
I know. I'm just.
I would say that the nature of utilitarianism, just because it benefits the majority, doesn't make it right.
Yes, it does.
No, Captain America and Iron Man would never sacrifice one to save everybody.
Spock would. Spock would do it.
I would, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
One versus a million. But a million's a way bigger number.
Yeah.
It's a debate for another day, I guess.
Yeah.
Then you would. Then you totally wouldn't. Captain America would be disappointed with you.
I like Cap, but because Iron Man's a douche. Now I am just trolling Dan.
Yeah, you are. So, on to a more appropriate question from Joe Gualtieri. Thanks, Joe, for being one of our patron subscribers. What do you think the best way to handle an illegal build being discovered partway through the tournament, to both the person playing it and to any opponent that let it through? So, now, I think I want to be clear that Joe is talking about an illegal build. Like, the build total is 301 points. And, you know, for local events like WKOs and ROCs and that sort of thing, it's what can we do to make the build legal? Because it's on you as a player and it's on you as an opponent to check your opponent's build sheets, and it's on a judge to verify those build sheets to some extent. But it's a no harm, no foul sort of situation for most things. Now, if it comes in that's like somebody let a a Nightwing ID in right now. You just get rid of that Nightwing ID. Let's say somebody accidentally let in, I'm just going to think wild, a main force Nick Fury. You would solve that.
DQ.
No, I think you just say you're 120 points short now. I'm sorry if you'd like to continue in the tournament.
But there's no way that a main force Nick Fury didn't impact the tournament. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know, but
I think you go with what the impact was on the games. You know, like what if old dude won 2 games because he's playing an illegal piece?
No, there's zero way to do that, though, Dave. I mean, how do you unwind who would have... That was the big problem at Worlds. The problem at Worlds wasn't that I only got 150 points, because the win was probably better than I could have gotten against Dan. The issue was, why didn't you just reseed us? I mean, it's just a question of drop. You know, I know it's not the easiest thing in the world, and there were 100 and some players, but the correct thing to do is not to give a player in the 10th, playing at table 9 a bye, and any win or loss or points. Let them play and reseed the tournament. And if you reseed based on what should have happened, how could you possibly come up with what should?
I thought we were talking about illegal builds here. Like we find out
but that's what I'm saying. Like you
playing
say,
too
look
many
at
points.
the impact of what it meant. But had that guy won instead of lost, then you wouldn't have been playing this guy. You would have been playing that guy. And what are you going to do? Speculate that you probably would have beaten that guy? I mean, how would you apply what should have happened based on the effect of Nick Fury being in?
Well, let's just say it's even an exospecs and you're 2 points over build. Like, what if you won a game because you hit the pulse wave on the exospecs and you would have never had access to it in the first place?
I mean, what if, you know,
if you add a leech ID that you never called in or something like that, that doesn't impact the game like...
I mean, there's actually, I can tell you it's possible that the game would have changed greatly in the favor of the opponent. It's also possible that the player would have done better with a different choice. I mean, you know, last night I remembered when I was playing Dustin that I should have done something different. He let me take it back because we were playtesting. I did it different, and it was worse. You know?
Right, but I'm not talking about, it could have gone this way and it could have gone this way. I'm saying, like, if I have a 302-point team because I have the exospecs on, and the exospecs made a difference in the game. And then later somebody's like, you have a 302-point team. Then at that point you just go to disqualification.
But do you just... So that's the... No, I don't think so, David.
I don't.
Why? Why would you not? Because they've impacted... It would be different if, like, I have this free ID off, you know, this character I'm playing. It's like, that character doesn't actually give you a free ID. I never called it in all day and my opponent can confirm. Then you just roll on and take the ID off the team. But if you've affected the tournament with your illegal build, then...
it's on the judge and it's on each opponent to verify the build of their opponent. So
right. I'm not saying we're DQing everybody.
But what I'm saying is you're DQing a player, you'd have to DQ the judge too, because they also failed in their job to make it fair.
Yeah,
DQ a judge?
It just depends, Dave. I mean, the guiding principle I would use would be, was there harm? Was there foul?
Was there intent?
Was it malicious?
Yeah.
Well, what I did in the past,
you can do harm and foul without having malice in the action.
Yeah, in which case it's a little toy superhero game, and so you get this toy instead of that toy, you know?
Right, but it's not a toy superhero game whenever it comes to, like, prizing that costs a good amount of money and things like that.
I guess, Dave, it would come down to that situation in, like, that example that you used with, like, the exospecs. You'd probably have to look and see, and I would say, hey, is there a 3-point ID on your team you never called in? Well,
right, but you know what I'm saying? I'm saying if it affected the tournament, I'm not saying DQ everybody. I'm just saying that one player, their mistake has affected the tournament. You don't go back and rewrite anything. You're just like, listen, man, you're overbuilt. I mean, I guess you could drop it, but the damage is already done at that point.
You could drop any piece of the team, though.
Right, but your team's already... But let's say they played you round one and the exospecs were key in them beating you. They wouldn't have... let's say they locked down your character with the plasticity they picked off the exospecs. And that you likely could have won.
I think you're focused on the fact that the exospecs put them over, right? Like, I think what I would look at in that situation...
I'm just saying any game element that has impacted a game.
Well, like, let's say, is there an
ID student Cyclops ID that came out whenever he had too many IDs because he didn't have enough characters on the board, right? Let's say that Cyclops last action, or, you know, whatever, kills your Colossal Retaliator, you lose 20-0. From a piece that shouldn't have even been on the team in the first place, and you don't find it out till round 3. Well, now you've traveled 4 hours to freaking lose 20-0 to an illegal build, and there's nothing anybody's going to do about it other than give them a slap on the wrist and say, they'll do it again, take that Cyclops off your team. Well, it's too late for you now, your day's done.
Well, I mean, it depends, Dave. It goes into, did they call out all the IDs in the game? Was there an ID that we can drop? I mean, you know, it's more to it than just saying, well, you had that piece that means you're DQ'd. It's
right. I just don't want it to... Y'all were making it seem it's like, oh, well, as long as there's something we can find, it'll be okay. But it's like, again, sometimes it's not okay for the people who get screwed over.
But on you, Dave, you got screwed because you didn't look closely enough at your opponent's build sheet.
Right. I mean, I get that. That's not... I'm just saying.
It's the same as letting your opponent make a misplay and 2 turns. Like, I had a great case of that at in Michigan where I was playing and I forgot that, like, I hit somebody with Surtur and he rolled super senses. Like an idiot, I let him roll it. A turn and a half later, I realized, oh shit, no way he should have been able to roll out of that. That piece should be dead. But of course, it's on me, right?
Right, I mean, but he didn't have an illegal team.
But he made an illegal play. What's the difference?
I don't know. I guess that's a play mistake, whereas the other one is an illegal build.
But it's a mistake on a different spot. I mean, I guess I can...
Right, they're mistakes, but one of them is a mistake in the game, and the other is a mistake that shouldn't have even been there in the first place.
And a judge should have caught, and all the players should have caught.
Right. I mean, I understand that it's not a perfect world and that stuff happens. I don't know. I feel like there should be something. There should be something for those people who the illegal build ended up beating them with the exact illegal thing. No, there are some people who get illegal builds and they don't catch it till later in the tournament and it never came into effect. Like, maybe they had an extra character on their sideline as an ID card option. Like, oh, I have the Common Iceman over here. Well, I never called in Common Iceman, and, whatever, it's fine. But
there is no perfect answer to that.
Right, I just think that...
Yeah, it's a situational answer for sure.
Yeah.
It's a decision for a judge to make in the moment based on the players and the situation and their...
And that's why being a judge in HeroClix is so hard.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
So don't give them crap whenever they have to make the tough choices.
Duh.
Good point.
Oh, boy. Thankless job, but good thing we love the game. Corey Clark wants to know, Jason, what fun scenario games will be run at Bang in April?
Well, we're going to play sealed DC Rebirth pre-release.
Woo.
Yeah. Harrison Fordyce's other question wants to know, let's talk about sports. What are they?
I love that. That's great. I like sports.
Yeah, me too.
I follow a lot of sports.
Hey, I don't follow any sports except for Kentucky basketball during the March Madness.
Woo! Yeah.
Jason Reynolds wants to know, can Super Carol 150 Marvel be competitive? If so, what makes her competitive when compared to the alternatives on her respective teams, probably mainly Cosmic and Avengers? That's,
She's definitely competitive.
Yeah.
People have won events with her.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if she's at the Unimind Hawkeye Shredder's level yet. No.
There's only one way to find out. Put her on the map, see what she can do.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler stomped me with her a couple weeks ago. It's a really, really sick piece. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I mean, the fact is, you just can't wail on it. You can't just hit it twice and it's gone. It's the same thing, same problem Unimind gives you. It's like you got to hit him 3 times. Anything you have to hit 3 times that can heal itself in between is a real pain to finish off. So
right, and I think if anybody can do it, they should probably try to do it at states, especially if you're in like
Idaho.
a state. Yeah, Idaho, Wyoming. Wyoming's a good state to win
true.
With Captain Marvel.
That's true.
I mean, and there are people who want to pay kind of their respects and get the older stuff back into the game before they retire at states, and then there are people at states who just want to kind of throw out some new stuff that's not super competitive. So I mean, like, states is probably the best time to like play something that's on the cusp of the meta.
The people who aren't,
I feel.
The people who aren't serious players, like who listen to a lot of podcasts, do they think of states as being any different from a Winamap? I mean, I know there's more people, but don't you just bring your best stuff to whichever event there is that weekend? Do many people think, oh, it's states, I'm going to wear my whites and I'm going to bring only pieces that are silly and have a whimsical nature. You know, I think, don't they just play the same stuff? You talk about States, David, as if it's a different sort of feel for you.
To me, I just look at the results and I see a lot of stuff that like you normally wouldn't see go down to Huntsville and win a Super Q.
Yeah, the thing is that.
Yeah, I can see that.
The thing that you run, I think what what Dave's trying to say is that there's a dilution of events.
That's true.
So you're staying in Illinois, so I'm going to be in Kentucky or in Tennessee, and so there's a chance that if you're in. Again, I don't want to offend all of our Idahoan and
I feel like we're going to get hate mail now.
Yeah,
it's not
really
like
Lucas
a
Tom
hate
Van
thing.
Holland's coming for you, David Gasselman.
He's in South Dakota. So, but anyways, let me finish my thought, Dave.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
It's the same part of the country.
Is those guys have things that can break through in those states that don't have players that are going to be traveling to them. So you see folks that don't normally win things come out of the woodwork and that sort of thing. It's really a great time for innovation.
It is. It's awesome. It's
right.
I don't get to see those crazy, wacky teams that win events. You're right, David. It's the Delaware State Tournament and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not a bad thing or a knock on anyone there. It's just like, where we are located, there's a lot of players who travel and are really competitive players, but these players aren't going over to Colorado next weekend or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're in Colorado or if you're in Idaho or if you're in New Mexico, you know who your dudes are that show up at these things and you kind of know their play style, and you may be able to come out with something and be the guy that makes 15 Mudmen win freaking states.
That's true. At the Illinois ROC States, if you have retaliators, you're going to get mind control a lot because a lot of the very good local meta guys play super mind control pieces. I know this from firsthand experience, and I hate it. Making me kill my own stuff. Robin's shooting giant girls. It's a horrible, horrible scene.
But yeah, I love states because of that exact fact, So
yeah, the local meta matters a lot.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and we get to come and we get to sit here and talk about these teams and be like, man, that's pretty cool. Look at this. Like, I'm so distracted by Unimind and all Hawkeye teams and Wales and all that I never even really thought anybody was going to play this, much less like run through the field with it. That's pretty awesome.
Right.
Like, I never looked at that interaction and how this piece worked with that. The states should be your thing, Nate. This is Grandmaster meta time.
I know, man. Yeah. I enjoy this stuff, but I think of everything like that. I don't just wait for states to bring out my weird shit. I bring out my weird shit wherever I go. I let my freak flag fly.
Awkward silence.
So yeah, I'm just pulling up the next question here.
I gotcha.
Brian Poland wants to know, Nate, can I be your Padawan?
No, I got 2 kids, man. Yeah, it just can't happen. He's too good of a player anyway. I can't teach him anything.
All right,
Get lucky.
Marcus Zila wants to know, what's your best dad joke, Nate?
Guy walks into a bookstore. He says, I need a book on turtles. The clerk says, hardback? The guy goes, yeah, long neck, short legs.
It's funny, I just heard that one this week.
That's a good one.
You better get used to your dad jokes there, Dan.
Yeah, you gotta have them at ready. You gotta have them at ready.
Yeah, I'm gonna study. I'm sure there's a bathroom book I can buy on that.
Some of them just come naturally.
And get ready with that Hi Hungry I'm Dad, because that one will come out.
That's the best.
Yep.
All right, John T. wants to know, what set theme should DC use that would be similar to Marvel's Avengers Infinity and Marvel 90s X-Men? Examples of possible colossal retaliation?
Wow, that's the part question. That's a lot of question there.
That's a huge question there. So I don't know DC Comics well enough to know where big dudes are at.
Well, they could have done an actual Justice League Unlimited set. That would have been nice.
Yeah. That would have been great.
Crisis would be good. Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yep.
I mean, I know they had a Crisis set, but it's been a while. They've had an X-Men set, too. I know they didn't have a animated series, but...
I mean, there would have been plenty of colossal options for DC in the animated, in the Justice League Unlimited and Justice League cartoon.
Yeah.
And what about the Young Justice pieces? They've all been pretty much clicks, haven't they?
I don't think from that. I don't think so. Not from the TV show. Like some of them have been clicks, but they're like more comic version than they are the TV show version.
Right.
So I mean,
cool. But that's a pretty small in scope, not nearly as sweeping.
Right. I mean, they could do the Justice League Unlimited and Justice League set, and then have one of the sub themes be the Young Justice series.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
they plenty of big people.
Also, guys like Chemo, right? The guy from the Ulti-Man that could grow to a giant size.
Right, yeah, and then they had it looks just like crap. He came out in Superman, Wonder Woman, the one that could poison and blades.
Brimstone.
Yeah.
He was in the animated series.
They had a different version of Brimstone. They had a Chinese robot version of Brimstone instead of the Apocalypse version of Brimstone, but it was the same.
Right, yeah. Yeah, he looked just like him, and I was like, is that the guy from the show? And then, I mean, they had all kinds of big dudes, so they could have all kinds of fun with that.
Atom Smasher?
Yep. There you go. I just want Plastic Man and Elongated Man.
And a good Shiny Knight.
Yeah, and Vigilante.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could do all kinds of stuff with that set. And that would be kind of the answer to the X-Men animated series, because it, I think, ran longer than the X-Men animated series did, so...
I don't think so. It only ran like 4 seasons.
Unlimited was 2 seasons.
Well, yeah, but they had the precursor with the regular Justice League, which was like 2 or 3 seasons.
That was only 2 seasons, yeah.
2 seasons, like
so that's 4 seasons. How long did the X-Men animated series run?
5.
Okay, so relatively close to the same.
Yeah, you can get like a Giganta Colossal. Like,
Yep.
Michael Love wants to know, Nate, when are you going to come to Texas to get clapped?
I spent a month in Texas 1 week a couple years ago, and I have no need to go back to Texas ever again.
Fair enough.
I think Micah's a little young to be making statements like that. I call his grandma.
He's a wonderful kid. He's a real sweet little guy. He just got his driver's license. It's hilarious.
I remember he didn't fill up the gas tank when he gave it back to his grandma.
Yep. God damn it, Micah. Learn on which side your bread is buttered.
He doesn't even understand that reference, Nate.
He'll figure it out. He'll look it up. He knows how to Google.
All right, Nicholas Wayne wants to know, what is your strategy for building and sealed events? Pull the nuts.
Yeah, stay home. Don't go to sealed events.
Weston Steiner wants to know, Nate, you've been playing against a lot of skilled, known players lately. Who is left on your list that you're eager to face?
I want to play Dustin Cedars. Never played against him.
He's got like the opposite of the hair situation that you have going on.
I know, but we're similar. We're similarly weird in our builds. That guy had really cool builds. He always comes in with something that you just didn't practice against, and I don't know. I've been beaten by a lot of great players. It'd be fun to be beaten by Dustin.
Andrew Krimpick, super great guy. Nate White's props for the awesome trick with Grandmaster. Enjoyed meeting you and playing you first round at PJ's event. Do you plan on running that build or a variation of it at States?
He beat me with a Black Panther team. I could not get through those rollouts. He didn't even need 3. 2 of them were getting it every time for him. But Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna play two different teams. I'm gonna play one team twice at States, and then another team, just a different team, just to see. I've got two teams right now that I'm happy with, and I have not, for the first time in ages, I've not come home from a tournament and immediately built a new team. So I feel like I can live with the Grandmaster team for a little while, and we'll see if it can. I mean, I feel like it. I lost map to Dustin with it, and yesterday in our practice, and I still managed to pull out the win. There's enough elements there of a good team that even if I can't do my trick, I can still play it out and possibly pull out a win. So that's the. I wonder if Fat Spidey can do that. You know what I mean? Like if Fat Spidey doesn't pull off his trick, can he slog through and battle? And I think that's where that team falls a little bit short.
Right. So are you just going to play in the background the "It's my birthday, it's your birthday"?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And Andrew, we talked a little bit about replacement for Overdrive with Raven earlier. Tyler Speeds wants to know, Nate White, can you explain in detail how to beat any and all teams you will run at States events that you will both be attending?
Well, let's face it. Everybody knows that Tyler has magical dice that always roll great in the right moment. So I would suggest he just use those dice. Now Tyler's so good. He's such a great player. He's great. He's great with stuff besides the whales, but for some reason he only wants to play the whales, which is fine because he wins every time. So God bless him.
Tommy Lytle wants to know why you play standing up with a mean look on your face, and is that because you always want to try to intimidate your opponents with physical threats like that, you big bully?
Irritable bowels. It's hard to sit down for too long. Hemorrhoids. That sort of.
I'll be fair. I'll sit there and watched you and Tommy play on Saturday, and it was neat to see two old fogies play. I was surprised you guys didn't both take naps at the table.
No.
Yeah, but you play Jason every week.
But Jason's only 40.
I'm only 43. How the hell old did you think I was? I know my white beard makes it look like I'm 50, but I am not.
Oh wow, you're only 43.
Yeah. Thanks.
I'll just you can be mad at me. I'll admit that I thought you were older than 43, Nate.
Wow, so you and Warren are the same age. But Warren looks way younger than
everyone who's If you're 43, you're the same age as me. It's one of those things.
I always thought that Warren looked younger than what he is, so.
And, I mean.
and you don't. I'm sorry. You're on the other end of that spectrum.
You look like an old piece of shit dragged through the mud. You're the same age. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's what I was hinting at. Yeah, sorry.
I'm going to cry myself to sleep tonight.
It's all right.
Is that Nate? Is that where we can say it's those liberal philosophies that you have that make you look older?
I think it's the converse. I think he's able to be so conservative because he's got that youthful exuberance, and I'm because I'm old and crotchety. I'm stuck in my liberal ways. Wait, that's not right. That's backwards.
Yeah, I was about to say the old crotchety people tend to lean conservative.
Yeah, I got no answer. I don't think our politics and our smile lines and crow's feet are connected.
And Jay Solomon seems like he has a shout out here. Why is the 60-point Grandmaster the best Grandmaster?
60-point Grandmaster is not the best Grandmaster. He's garbage. I don't know why you would play the 60-point Grandmaster.
Is that the one that has the 0 attack?
Yeah. It's the one that can pick any support power, but it's just spend 15 more points and get Lockjaw then. Then you got a way better piece that survives a lot longer and can actually fight.
Oh, that's right. You played the 75.1.
I played the 75. I think he's just being silly.
And then, what's funny is that Eton Black is actually a real person.
What?
Yeah. So
That's not true.
At least according to the Google machine.
I bet it's a Nate White that changed his name.
Probably.
There's a lot of us.
All right, so we've had a lot of thoughts today. I don't think we need any final thoughts for today. Nate, thanks for being on today. Jason, Dave, y'all have anything else?
No. I should
right.
have took a nap probably, but other than that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me. It was awesome. Sorry, I didn't have ramble, but
No,
No, that was
right.
fun. You were super fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
thanks for
I enjoyed it.
thanks for being on, Nate, and thanks everybody for listening to Click Stuff, and we'll talk to y'all next time.
Later.